Okay, so it says in point 1, blame the Avengers for my family's death even though Ultron killed them. But we must remember that Ultron was created by Tony Stark. So, it kind of was the Avengers' fault for Zemo's family's death. Number 2, decrypt millions of Black Widow's SHIELD or Hydra files to find out the identity of the Winter Soldier and the identity of his former handler. He explains this in this point.
91.
How did you find me?
When SHIELD fell, Black Widow released Hydra files to the public. Millions of pages, much of it encrypted, not easy to decipher, but I have experience and patience. A man can do anything if he has those.
So I guess he had time and patience. Number 3, find the handler and hit his car. Hopefully he answers the door at a creepy, secluded safe house. He had the information. He would have found out where the handler's safe houses were. So I guess that's kind of answered. Find the Winter Soldier's activation codes, hopefully in a cool looking book. Learn how to use the codes myself. I can do that, right? I guess he only had to read the book and see that these were the Winter Soldier's activation codes. Number 5, ask for mission report December 16, 1991, implying that I already know what happened. Whatever. If Hydra guy doesn't answer, drown him. Well, that's answered in this part of the movie.
Question. Mission report, December 16, 1991.
How did you find me?
When SHIELD fell, Black Widow released Hydra files to the public. Millions of pages, much of it encrypted, not easy to decipher, but
so we see that Zemo kind of had a clue as to who may have killed Tony's parents, and he only needed the proof, the evidence. So he needed to find the handler and ask for the mission report, together with, I guess, all the proof and everything that concerned that particular assignment. So I guess that's explained. Number 6, hopefully around this time what happened in Sokovia will cause the government to press for superhero regulation, creating both a rift between Captain America and Iron Man, and an opportunity for me to frame Bucky for something and make them super duper mad at each other. That's bound to happen, right? Well, I guess we can chalk that point down to that's just part of what was happening, in the film. Like, he didn't depend on that. We must remember, Zemo's plan was to make the Avengers destroy each other. He only wanted the mission report. And if he had the proof, he would have gotten it to Tony. And knowing, Tony Stark's impulsive nature, all he had to do was present him with the facts. And he knew that he would go after the Winter Soldier. And he banked on that being, like Winter Soldier, being the bait that would lure them to fight each other. So that kind of, it doesn't make sense to say that he hoped what happened in Sokovia would make them have a rift. He was going to create the rift. So I guess, that point doesn't really make sense. Obtain a Bucky Barnes mask and wig. We saw that they could do that in Winter Soldier. The whole, mask thing that turns you into the other person. At the Halloween store, come on. Bomb the signing of the new regulations. Sokovia Accords has a nice ring to it. Skull for the cameras. I think that's nitpicking. And even if it's explained in the point where he said he didn't want to create a mess. So he bombed the UN building to draw out Bucky Barnes, who was the bait to draw the Avengers to fight against each other. Because he knew, based on Bucky Barnes and Steve Rogers' relationship, that Steve would obviously side with Bucky. And with Tony knowing that the Winter Soldier killed his parents, then he would obviously fight Captain America in the end. So he wanted to tear the Avengers apart. Honest trailers, come on. Okay, number 9. Hope that Captain America sides with the Winter Soldier and Iron Man sides against them. If these two aren't fighting, I just bombed a building for no reason. Wait a minute, he bombed the building to draw out Bucky, not to make Captain America fight Iron Man. He just wanted to draw out Bucky from hiding. So it's explained in this clip.
Why would the task force release this photo to begin with?
Get the word out, involve as many eyes as we can.
Right. It's a good way to flush a guy out of hiding. Set off a bomb, get your picture taken. You got 7 billion people looking for the Winter Soldier.
You're saying someone framed him to find him.
Steve, we looked for the guy for 2 years and found nothing.
We didn't bomb the UN. That turns a lot of
Yeah,
heads.
but that doesn't guarantee that whoever framed him would get him. It guarantees that we would.
Yeah.
Honest trailers, come on, that is nitpicking. And he only wanted to draw him out. So that was why he said initially he did not want to create the mess. He just wanted the handler in the beginning to give him the information about the proof of who actually killed Tony's parents. Of course, he suspected it was the Winter Soldier. He just wanted the proof. So yeah, that point doesn't make sense to me. Number 10, build a homemade EMP device. I can do that, right? No, come on. It's explained in this clip.
The fake doctor is actually Colonel Helmut Zemo. Sokovian intelligence. Zemo ran Echo Scorpion, a Sokovian covert kill squad.
So what happened?
He obviously has some military background, so why would he need to build, like, even if it was homemade? I mean, doesn't he have a base that in his own country where he could have gotten the materials or even gotten the EMP device? Nitpicking. Number 11, wait for Bucky to get captured by Tony Stark's forces. If he escapes or is killed, or if anyone else captures him, this plan is worthless. Okay, now the Joint Terrorism Task Force was initially gonna be the one to go after him. It's explained in this clip.
What's gonna happen?
Same thing that ought to happen to you. Psychological evaluation and extradition.
This is Everett Ross, Deputy Task Force Commander.
What about a lawyer?
Lawyer, that's funny. See, their weapons are placed in a lockup. We'll write you a receipt.
So Zemo knew that it was the Joint Terrorism Task Force that was gonna get Bucky eventually. That's why, knowing their procedure would be the psych evaluation first, he knew where to position himself. So he had to get to the guy who was going to analyze him, and then he would interrogate him first. So Tony Stark's forces, it was the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Number 12, intercept, kill, and impersonate the psychiatrist brought in to analyze Bucky. Don't know, I'll know exactly who he is and when he will arrive, but no one else will even know what he looks like. Okay, so I'm going to give them the last half of that point, because maybe someone else would have known what he looked like, but I explained the first half. He knew that the procedure was psych evaluation first, so obviously he would need to impersonate the person. So, okay, the second half, I'm going to give you guys that. Okay, I'm going to go on one last point. Zemo was monitoring the Avengers' movements after he got out of the Joint Terrorism Task Force facility. When he found out that Cap had gone missing with Bucky, then he chose to make the phone call from Russia to let them know, or at least let Tony know, that Cap was right. So he knew that now Tony would go after Cap, and having them all together, he could show the evidence that the Winter Soldier killed Iron Man's parents, and then the conflict would just take place. Whether it would just have been with the two Avengers and the Winter Soldier, or even more Avengers in the mix. And he hoped, even I guess, he wished that the Avengers would kill each other in that battle because of just the amount of violence, the amount of emotion in that moment. So I guess also this clip explains that.
He asked me again if you're going to be there. I said I wasn't sure. You should have seen his little face. Just try, okay? I'm going to bed. I love you.
James Barnes, der mit dem Bombenanschlag auf die UN in Wien in Verbindung gebracht wird, ist heute aus der Haft entflohen. Ebenfalls vermisst werden die Avengers Captain Steve Rogers und Sam Wilson.
Okay, for number 19, okay, let me just go with the last part. He says, but if either Cap or Iron Man is captured or killed, this plan is worthless. Remember, his plan is to tear the Avengers apart. If Cap is killed or Iron Man is killed, did you really think that Zemo would lose any sleep? You know, so that doesn't make sense. Number 20, flight to Russia, call the service lady so that they can find the site. Okay, I'm gonna give honest trailers that one. Okay. Number 21, kill the other frozen Winter Soldiers and wait for Cap and Iron Man to arrive. No, I actually thought that was a surprising move and really out of the box for a villain. So I'm gonna give Civil War that point. Number 22, reveal to Iron Man that Bucky killed his parents. Maybe there's a VHS tape. You know what? I think some military have their soldiers wear body cam while they're on mission to show what happened. So if there was a camera that saw what all the actions of the Winter Soldier, then it's within reason. So I'm gonna give Civil War that one. Okay, then we have number 23, leave Iron Man, Cap, and Bucky to fight it out. Yes, I've defeated the Avengers. If there's no winner, or if they come to some kind of understanding, this plan is worthless. Okay, he wanted them to fight it out. So, you know, I think he knew, based on, as I said before, Tony Stark's volatile character, that he would just react knowing that Winter Soldier killed his parents, killed his mom in particular, which was, in my opinion, that was done so well. So I think he knew that Tony Stark would fight with lethal force, and Cap would obviously step in to stop it. And any other Avenger that was present. You know, I hear some other people saying, how did he only know that Cap was going to go there with Iron Man and Bucky? You know, even if there was any other Avenger who tagged along, they would have been caught up in the conflict. So his plan would have worked with just the three of them or more Avengers in the mix, because, you know, they would have to fight to stop each other. And maybe someone would have gotten wounded with the amount of force that they would have used in that particular fight, because that was the real fight. You know, also brings me to a point. The airport battle scene, it wasn't supposed to be lethal. No one was supposed to die. They were just trying to bring them in, and this clip explains that.
Alright, now I'm pissed.
Is this part of the plan?
Well, my plan was go easy on him. You want to switch it up?
So yeah, that dismisses that point. So we're down to the last one. Delete dead wife's voicemail, kill myself, hopefully no one stops me. Nitpicking. So I hope you like this analysis. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel for more content. Thanks for watching. Till next time, God bless.